Y'all ever seen reality TV get so real? It feels like the camera crew just walked into a federal sting operation. Because baby, this ain't your usual VH1 mess. This is betrayal served up with designer heels, filtered IG stories, and a USB stick full of secrets nobody was ready for. What do you get when you mix a cheating husband, a messy ex with too much time on her hands, and a wife who's had enough? You get Rasheeda going full Olivia Pope with a vengeance, and this time, she brought back up. How in the name of Mona Scott Young did karlieredd end up tangled in Kirk Frost's mess again? Was this just another clout grab gone wrong? Or are we witnessing one of the dirtiest setups in Love and Hip Hop history? From boutique run-ins that scream premeditated, to luxury van footage that would make the FBI jealous, this scandal just rewrote the definition of plot twist. Buckle up, because this isn't just tea. It's hot lava, and somebody's about to get burned. You thought season 13 was gonna be tame. Ha! Welcome to the episode where Rasheeda stopped filming a show and started building a case. Let's dive in. Asterisk, let's start from the top. Because this story doesn't just begin with a shady text or a cryptic caption, it starts with a slow, calculated storm that's been building behind the scenes since before the cameras even started rolling for season 13. The vibe was already off. Rasheeda had that sixth sense that every woman gets when her man's energy changes just enough to feel wrong, but not enough to prove anything. And Kirk. Oh, Kirk was playing his usual I'm too busy with work card like it was a get out of drama free pass, forgetting this ain't Monopoly. Baby, this is Love and Hip Hop, and nothing gets past the cameras or the cast. So how did karlieredd, a woman who's practically the ambassador of VH1 drama, slide back into the Frost family narrative like a snake slithering under the radar? Let's just say, she didn't trip and fall into this mess. She planned the landing. It all kicked off with whispers from production assistants. Those unsung heroes of reality TV who carry more tea than a British breakfast. Word started circulating that Karlie was being spotted a little too often near Kirk's pop-up events, fashion walkthroughs, and even an out-of-town business mixer where she wasn't even on the RSVP list. But here's where things shifted. From coincidence to conspiracy, Rasheeda found a contact in Kirk's phone saved as Malik Designs, which wouldn't be weird if Malik wasn't the name of a boutique in Miami and the number wasn't traced back to Karlie's burner. Yes, a burner. This ain't just your regular sneaky link. This is espionage with lip gloss. So of course, Rasheeda did what any woman with receipts in her DNA would do. She smiled, she nodded, and she waited. Because when a woman like Rasheeda stops arguing and starts watching, it's over. Days later, Kirk is randomly seen entering a boutique owned by one of Karlie's close friends, sunglasses on indoors, trying to act low-key in a place that literally sells neon catsuits. Subtlety clearly isn't his strong suit. What he didn't know was that Karlie was already in the back room, supposedly trying on shoes, and 10 minutes later, both of them emerged like two teenagers sneaking out of detention. But it doesn't stop there. A security camera, which we're told is usually conveniently turned off after hours, just happened to catch a blurred image of Kirk's very distinct arm tattoo and Karlie's. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's assistant, a silent observer who deserves an award, allegedly stumbled across Karlie's purse left in a green room at a nearby studio. Inside, a receipt. Not just any receipt, one timestamped at 11:02 p.m. from the same boutique. The ink was still fresh, and just when you thought it couldn't get messier, Karlie had the audacity to post a boomerang on her story, sipping wine with a mystery man whose face was conveniently cropped out. Now we've seen blurry boyfriends before, but Twitter detectives were not having it. A tattoo, a bracelet, and a blurry jawline were all they needed. Zoom, screenshot, cross-reference. Boom, it matched a photo Kirk posted months ago. Same watch, same vibe, same damn chaos. Fans exploded. Comments went wild. Is that Kirk's bracelet? Karlie really got the nerve to post the evidence herself. Somebody get Rasheeda out that studio and into that group chat right now. But it didn't stop there. An anonymous source, likely someone fed up with the foolishness, leaked a voice note to a shady gossip blog. In it, Karlie is allegedly heard laughing with a friend, saying, "Girl, all I had to do was pout a little, talk about my heartbreak, and boom, Kirk offered to help me rebrand." Rebrand what? Exactly, her veneers, because rumor has it he covered that cost, too. And this is where the fuse met the flame. Rasheeda was reportedly in the middle of filming a casual scene when she received an airdrop from an unknown number. She accepted it, probably thinking it was a fan pic. Nope, it was a video. Inside that same luxury Sprinter van the cast uses for late-night shoots. Inside, Kirk and Karlie, laughing, sipping wine, and then leaning in just a little too close for comfort. The video cuts right as their lips move in. And that, my friends, was the moment Rasheeda didn't just check out, she leveled up. No screaming, no running, no IG Live meltdown. She stared at that phone like a sniper, handed it back to her assistant, and walked straight off set. When a woman says nothing, that's when you run. But instead of disappearing, Rasheeda flipped the whole show on its head. She allegedly pulled production aside and said, "If y'all want a storyline, let the cameras roll. But I'm not faking anything this season." Translation: no filters, no edits, no favors. The betrayal is going to air in 4K. Now the energy on set shifted faster than Karlie switches storylines. Rasheeda showed up to the next group scene looking like a villain origin story in progress, all black, sleek hair, no smile. Meanwhile, Karlie, suddenly requesting security on set. Why? Because even she knew the smoke was real. You can flirt with chaos, but you can't hide when it knocks on your dressing room door. According to production chatter, Karlie started arriving late, asking to be kept away from Rasheeda's team, and even skipped a promo shoot without explanation. And Kirk? Well, Kirk suddenly became very quiet, like deleting comments, turning off DMIs, pretending to be asleep during filming quiet. One moment, he's the loudest man in the room. Next moment, he's blinking like he's buffering in 4K. Then came the setup. Rasheeda organized a ladies' brunch scene, the kind where faux champagne flows and real shade flies. The usual suspects were invited. Spice, Bumby, Kendra, Sierra, but the twist? She made sure Karlie got an invite to front row seat to her own interrogation. The tension was so thick, you could slice it with a plastic butter knife. Karlie walked in, trying to smile through it, wearing a jumpsuit so tight it looked like she was trying to hold her breath and her secrets at the same time. Rasheeda sipped her drink slow, leaned in with a smirk, and said, "Funny how receipts just fall into my lap these days. It's like karma got Bluetooth." And boom, the table went silent. Karlie's hand froze mid-sip like her mimosa had suddenly turned into a cup of guilt, and the rest of the table could feel it. Bambi leaned back with raised eyebrows. Sierra gave one of those slow blinks people do when they're silently saying, "I knew it," and even Spice, who usually lives for mess, was quiet, waiting to see what bomb Rasheeda was about to drop. But Rasheeda didn't raise her voice. She didn't call names. She just placed a sleek little USB stick right on the brunch table like it was a menu special. Nobody touched it. Nobody had to. Everyone at that table had already heard whispers about what it contained. Word on set was that the clip had audio of Karlie allegedly bragging to a friend that she had Kirk wrapped around her finger and that he'd already dropped thousands on her veneers just to keep her smiling and silent. And if that wasn't bad enough, the same voice allegedly said, "I don't even like Kirk like that, but I know how to make a man feel needed. Cry a little, act like you're healing. Boom, now you've got a sugar daddy with guilt issues." When Rasheeda pulled that USB out, Karlie's body language flipped faster than her wigs. She went from acting unbothered to visibly shaken, crossing her arms, shifting in her seat, mumbling something about "we grown, and this is messy." But the energy had already shifted, and nobody at that table was buying her fake innocence. Rasheeda leaned back, eyes locked on Karlie like she was scanning her soul. "You ever been betrayed so quietly? The silence screams louder than words," she asked. Not to anyone in particular, but the impact hit everyone. The scene wrapped, with fake hugs and forced laughter, but by the time it aired, nobody remembered the food, the outfits, or the brunch vibes. They remembered the look in Rasheeda's eyes and the USB sitting untouched on the table like a ticking bomb. Days later, that very audio clip leaked online through an anonymous blog. The file was titled KARLIE Confessions.wav, and within minutes, fan pages had grabbed it, transcribed it, and turned it into viral content. Memes started flying. One had Karlie photoshopped as a dentist's chair, with Kirk sitting in it throwing $100 bills. Another showed Rasheeda wearing judge robes with the caption "Court in Session." Even people who hadn't watched Love and Hip Hop in years were tuning in like it was breaking news, but the real damage was happening behind the scenes. According to a leak from a producer, Rasheeda had told VH1 directly, "If you cut this footage or try to water it down, I'm done with the show." And considering she's been the franchise's backbone for over a decade, the network had no choice but to comply. So now Karlie's entire season arc wasn't just about fashion lines and healing journeys, it was about survival. She tried to do damage control, hopping on IG Live with glassy eyes and a trembling voice, saying, "I would never do that to Rasheeda. She's like a sister to me." But the internet wasn't having it. Comments flooded in like you've done it before. Every season, same tears, different man. And why are you always crying after you get caught? And that's when it got even nastier. A supposed group chat leak hit a gossip site, showing cast members venting about Karlie's behavior. Spice allegedly wrote, "She do this every season. Cries when it backfires. I'm over it." Bambi chimed in, "She needs to stop buying fake friends and invest in some loyalty." The cast was turning on her faster than the fans. And just when Karlie was trying to breathe, Kirk of all people decided to speak. He went live in a dimly lit room, voice low and defensive, muttering, "Y'all wildin', ain't nobody cheating. Don't believe everything you see. Me and Rasheeda, solid. Sir, if y'all were solid, we wouldn't have boutique Sprinter van footage and leaked audio recordings. Try again." Rasheeda, for her part, remained silent on social media. No long rants, no indirect posts, just a sequence of curated, icy fashion shots with captions like "A queen doesn't compete with chaos, and when you know the truth, you don't need to scream it." Each post got more likes than the last, while Karlie's comments turned into a battlefield. Fans called for her removal from the show, while others demanded a sit-down confrontation. VH1, smelling ratings gold, allegedly greenlit a mid-season intervention episode. No promo, no warning. Just Boom Dr. Jeff, in the center of a circle of cast members, and guess who didn't show up? That's right, Karlie Kirk had sent word through her glam squad that she didn't feel safe, which was ironic considering the only thing Rasheeda had pulled out so far was a USB, not a weapon, but the absence spoke louder than any statement she could have made. Rasheeda showed up in all black again, hair slicked like she was about to deliver a eulogy, and said one of the coldest lines in the show's history. "You don't get to stab somebody and then cry because the knife was heavy." The cast sat in stunned silence. Even Kendra, who usually keeps it cute and mute, leaned forward and added, "It's wild how some people can't keep a man, so they try to break someone else's." Production tried to steer the conversation toward healing and understanding, but at this point, nobody was interested in group hugs. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Multiple insiders confirmed Karlie had allegedly approached producers before filming even started, begging for a bigger storyline. "I'll do whatever it takes," she reportedly said. And when they asked how far she was willing to go, she smiled and said, "Let's just say I know where the drama lives." Let that sink in. She wasn't caught in the storm. She built it, and when the pieces started crumbling, she ran. Fans were now turning her apology tour into a meme factory. Every live she did, every statement she made, people zoomed in looking for inconsistencies. One blog even did a side-by-side of her confessionals, noting how the fake tears dried up the minute the camera cut. And then came the final blow. Rasheeda showed up for a podcast interview called "Don't Get Dragged Unless You Ready," and without even mentioning Karlie's name, she delivered lines like, "Some people think silence is weakness, but silence is strategy. I speak when it matters. And baby, it matters now." The clip went viral within minutes. Meanwhile, Karlie's lip line promo was crashing. Sponsorships started backing away. Fan pages that once adored her either went dark or flipped against her completely. And Kirk vanished. Word is, he canceled a club hosting gig in Houston, citing bad energy. Which is rich coming from someone who brought all that bad energy to his own marriage in the first place. And through all of this, Rasheeda didn't just survive, she started thriving. Rumors began swirling that VH1 was considering a Rasheeda-centered spin-off called Wife, Boss, Betrayed, with full executive producer credits attached. And, if that happens, Karlie's days of stealing screen time might be officially over. Because while she was out here plotting her next tear-filled redemption arc, Rasheeda was building a whole new empire out of the ashes. And now that the truth is in the open, the only thing left is the fallout, but the real explosion hadn't even gone off yet. While Karlie was scrambling to patch up her public image, Rasheeda was quietly setting the entire stage for her final move, and baby, it wasn't subtle. See, when someone plays in your face, embarrasses you on national TV, and turns your marriage into a punchline, you don't just walk away. You build the stage, light the spotlight, and give them the mic to hang themselves with. That's exactly what Rasheeda did. Insiders say that after that failed sit-down episode, Rasheeda went into full production mode behind the scenes. She called Mona Scott directly and allegedly told her, "Either this gets handled or I walk." And considering Rasheeda's name, basically, prints the network's money at this point, VH1 had no choice but to comply. That's when the idea of an early reunion taping was floated, a surprise episode, no warning, no promos, no safety nets. The goal: let the truth come out, raw and unedited, and it worked. Every major cast member showed up. Rasheeda arrived first, red dress hugging every curve like it was stitched with revenge itself. Her face was beat to perfection, expression unreadable, and heels clicking like war drums. Kirk arrived next, silent, tense, sitting as far from Rasheeda as the set allowed, his eyes darting like a man waiting on a verdict he already knows won't be good. And then Karlie entered. Sunglasses indoors, side ponytail trying too hard, and a fake calm that couldn't mask the fear in her walk. It was obvious she knew what was coming. The host barely got through his opening line before Rasheeda unleashed. No yelling, no theatrics, just cold, calculated words. "You really think using my marriage as a prop for your storyline is going to keep you relevant? Karlie, girl, you ain't new. You just never evolved." And the room went dead silent. Karlie tried to clap back, scrambling for sympathy points, saying stuff like, "You acting like your man hasn't embarrassed you before. Why is it different now?" But Rasheeda was ready. "He did. And guess what? I dragged him for it. I healed from it. But what you did, that's not healing. That's humiliation. And I won't be your content." The host, clearly thrown off, tried to redirect, but it was too late. The dam had already burst. Then came the smoking gun. The host pulled out an envelope, labeled strictly confidential, and announced that production had completed an internal review after the van footage and audio leaks. And what they found? Well, according to an anonymous assistant on set, Karlie had allegedly pitched this entire scenario months ago, begging producers for something that would secure her spot on season 13. She reportedly said, and I quote, "I'll do whatever it takes, even if that means blowing up a friendship." The camera zoomed in on Rasheeda's face, and for the first time, she smiled. Not a happy smile, not a relieved smile. The smile of a woman who was finally, officially done. She didn't yell, didn't cry. She stood up, removed her mic, looked dead into the camera and said, "Then I'm done. You can keep the cameras. I'm not here for this circus." Karlie, calling after her like she still had a chance, said, "Rasheeda, wait, you don't know the whole story." But Rasheeda turned around and delivered the line that became a viral quote on every fan page within minutes. "Oh, I know enough. The rest, you can explain to your next storyline." She left. No tears, no breakdown, just pure dignity. Karlie sat frozen, humiliated, while even the production crew tried not to make eye contact. Word spread fast. Blogs ran with headlines like "Rasheeda walks," "Karlie implodes," and "The betrayal that broke VH1. Fans lit up the internet with reactions, most of them fully in Rasheeda's corner. Some called her the new face of reality revenge. Others said, "Finally, a woman on TV who didn't let mess define her, she defined it." But what was happening off-screen was just as juicy. Sources close to production revealed that the backlash had triggered panic at VH1. Karlie's role in the show was being reassessed. Sponsors were pulling back. Even her glam squad was reportedly ghosting her. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was fielding offers from multiple networks. BET, WeTV, and even Netflix allegedly reached out for spin-off negotiations. And in the midst of all this, guess who popped up again trying to do damage control? Kirk Frost. This time, not on Instagram Live, but in an exclusive interview with a random YouTube channel nobody ever heard of until that moment. He sat there, looking tired and unshaven, repeating the same weak lines. "Y'all don't know the whole story. Ain't nobody trying to disrespect nobody. Me and Rasheeda just going through stuff." The comments were brutal. One person wrote, "You've been going through stuff since season 6. When's the finale?" Another said, "Kirk blaming the audience for his cheating is peak delusion." Meanwhile, Karlie tried to launch a comeback of her own. She scheduled a live interview on a gossip podcast, claiming she wanted to clear the air. But the minute the hosts brought up the Sprinter van footage and the leaked audio, Karlie fumbled. She got flustered, asked to pause the recording, then whispered to someone off camera, "Y'all said you wouldn't press me about that. I came here to promote my lip line." Girl, your lip line is the least of our concerns when your storyline is, literally, crumbling in front of millions. But wait, it gets even juicier. Karlie's former assistant, the same one who used to handle her lashes, outfits, and calendar, leaked a private DM thread to a known blogger. In it, Karlie allegedly said, "I don't care what Rasheeda thinks. She's boring and only relevant because of me and Kirk." The internet exploded. Fans went feral. One page posted, "She's not even sorry. She's mad she got caught." And the cast. Oh, they responded. Spice unfollowed Karlie. Bambi dropped a single clown comment on one of her selfies. Sierra blocked her entirely. VH1 had a full-on PR nightmare on their hands. And what do you do when the mess gets too real? For reality TV, you pivot. Rasheeda was offered full creative control over her next chapter. Word is, she's now in pre-production on a new show, tentatively titled Built Not Broken, with a focus on women in business, real relationships, and what it means to rebuild after betrayal. And that's how you flip the narrative. From victim to producer. From betrayed wife to boss chick with her own platform. And Karlie, she's still on social media posting old clips, pushing her cosmetics, and dodging every direct question like it's dodgeball in high school. But the damage is done. Her credibility, shattered. Her alliances, burned. Her image, in freefall. As for Kirk, well, let's just say he's not saying much these days. His comments are still turned off. His wife is gone. And the audience has already moved on. Because when it comes to love and hip-hop, it's not just about the drama, it's about who survives it. And Rasheeda, she didn't just survive. She took notes, took control, and took off. Season the 13th of May have started with scandal, but it ended with a statement. One woman's silence can sometimes speak louder than 1,000 lies. And in this case, that silence screamed, "I am done protecting people who weaponize my peace." Asterisk, now that the dust has settled, or, should we say, now that Rasheeda walked off leaving flames in her wake, it's your turn to sound off. Because this isn't just some TV drama anymore. This is personal. This is betrayal. This is what happens when fake friends mix with real-life marriages and try to twist pain into plot points. So tell us, whose side are you on? Do you believe Karlie was plotting this mess from the jump just to stay relevant? Or is she really just a misunderstood woman caught in the wrong Sprinter van at the wrong time, with the wrong married man? And Kirk, do we even need to ask? Is he the biggest fumbler in reality TV history, or just another pawn in Karlie's chase for screen time? One thing's for sure, Rasheeda's silence spoke volumes. And her bossed-up exit, legendary. So hit that like button if you think Rasheeda just gave us the most iconic mic drop in love and hip-hop history. Drop your hottest take in the comments. Are you Team Rasheeda, Team Karlie, or just here for the chaos? And don't forget to subscribe. Because baby, this tea isn't done steeping. We've got more leaks, more drama, more behind-the-scenes secrets coming your way faster than Kirk can deny another scandal. Tap that bell so you don't miss the next expose, because if you thought this was messy, wait until you see who's getting exposed next. This isn't just reality TV anymore, it's reality warfare. And we're watching every move.